YouTube, what is going on, y'all? All right, this is gonna be a quick little video. I know as we get closer to the release of the Avengers Doomsday trailer, I made this thesis, or not thesis, more or less. I kind of made this like analysis for you guys, or like I think it was like 3 weeks ago, but I never had the chance to like fully finishing editing the video until now. So yeah, but hopefully some of these theories that I stated, or at least some of these videos that you guys are seeing in the video that I'm reacting to, are real. Because if they are, dude, that's a plus, bro. That means y'all gotta like and subscribe. But yeah, you guys, nothing much more to say to you guys. More content coming soon. And yeah, peace.
YouTube, what is going on, bro? What's up, y'all? How y'all doing today? I'm doing so good. We got a brand new video for y'all. Well, wait a minute. Okay, so I know this is kind of like, this isn't really a reaction video. This is going to be kind of like an analysis. And the reason why I'm kind of doing this analysis versus, you know, a reaction video, because I already watched it. But look. Okay, so we are all hyped, I'm assuming. And if you're not hyped for this movie, what the fuck are you doing, bro? We're all hyped for Avengers Doomsday, bro. And recently I saw this video, right? And this dude was actually spitting point on facts about this shit, bro. I'm being so dead ass. Like, he was talking about how he was kind of talking about how the events of Avengers Endgame, bro, how it kind of like almost like the way how Avengers Endgame kind of played out a little bit with about the Avengers time traveling and shit. How when Steve returned the time stones and a whole bunch of other stuff with them taking certain oh my gosh, I can't even talk. With Steve returning certain types of stones and shit, and them also grabbing those stones and doing the snap, kind of caused different reality branches. So justifying this, right, and using the Russo brothers writing style, right, or at least I don't want to say writing style, but the way how they pretty much write their movies, I say personally, this low-key is valid, bro. It's valid as fuck. And so this is from a bit of everything, bro. And this dude was speaking spot on facts about this shit, bro. And the reason why I say he was speaking spot on facts, because he was stating about how this shit will all kind of tie into each other. And that's what my theory is. I think, if I'm not mistaken, when and this is kind of what the video kind of went into. Oh my gosh, let me fix my fucking skull cap. What the video went into full detail about was how them going back to the 70s could have possibly, okay, hear me out, this shit could have possibly created Tony Stark into becoming Dr. Doom. And I'm terrible at explaining shit, bro, so forgive me. But look, when you guys watch this video, you guys will understand, bro, perfectly. But shit, let's fucking get started, bro. How y'all doing today also, bro? We got some crazy shit going on, bro, right now, bro. Like, the day I'm recording this, bro, it's like 10:26, bro. So by the time y'all see this, it'll probably be maybe like November, hopefully. Maybe like early November, bro. But fucking, yeah.
Fans, today we're going to look at the question of whether or not Dr. Doom was created after this fateful meeting from Endgame. So there's lots of cool theories out there.
I think he was.
On why Tony Stark and Dr. Doom look the same, but I think you'll find this one has a unique twist to it. Because I was working on the update to my History of the Multiverse.
Everybody subscribe to a bit of everything, bro. We about to show him some love right now, bro. Look at that. We subscribed, bro.
So there will be spoilers.
And make sure y'all subscribe to my channel too, bro. It's totally free. Totally free.
Fine with that. So let's dive right in and see what we can find out. Don't forget, this theory starts with Steve's mission to return the stones after the time heist in Endgame, right? He says, I'm going to go and clip all the branches. And Smart Hulk says you have to return the stones to the exact moment you got them.
When you
so
got
he's
them.
Ready to go, right? He gets on the time platform and heads back to return the stones. Now, if you're like me, you really want to know, how exactly did he do that? I mean,
yeah, I'm not gonna lie, in Doomsday, bro, because I heard they were gonna make a miniseries about Steve returning the stones. Obviously, that shit was false, because this nigga Chris Evans is coming back. But I say in Doomsday, they definitely gotta go into a little bit of detail about what the fuck exactly happened, bro. Like, what the fuck? Because, bro, he literally, let me fix my damn light. Bro, he literally, was gone for what? Until the super soldier serum wore off, bro. And that shit takes years to wear off, decades, bro. So
probably wasn't too hard to return the time stone to the Ancient One. She was just standing there waiting for it to come back again, right? But the Mind Stone, that could be a little tricky. Remember, he had to get the scepter away from the Hydra goons. He says, I'm going to be running point on the scepter, and he ends up saying, Hail Hydra to Sitwell. And sure enough, eventually they do give him the briefcase with the scepter in it, and I love that he's smirking as he walks out of the elevator with a bunch of confused Hydra agents. But unfortunately, things got more complicated when he runs into his earlier self, and after a big fight...
Maybe when he said Hail Hydra, okay, I'm sorry if I'm pausing this too much, but maybe when after he says the Hail Hydra shit, right, and they find this nigga unconscious, maybe they kidnap this nigga or something like that, brainwash him into turning into Captain Hydra, bro, and then that's what causes Captain Hydra to come inside Avengers Doomsday. Exactly. Look at this shit, nigga. We are thinking 10 steps ahead of the game, my niggas!
He has him and say, Bucky is alive, which surprises his earlier self, and he's able to get the drop.
Also, forgive these stains on my shirt, bro. These aren't nut stains right here. Look, these are not semen stains.
First of all, does he need to put
it's drool.
Stone back into Loki's scepter? I mean, he doesn't have the scepter with him. He just has the stone.
I've always wondered, like, how did he not stab him right there with that pointy ass shit? Like, look at this shit, bro. I've always wondered that too.
He just has the stone. And then the question is, does he have to return it to the Hydra goons? Does he have to take it back to the exact moment when it was taken away from someone? Or is what Hulk was meaning is you have to take it back to the point where you removed it from the branch?
Yeah.
I mean, technically speaking, when Cap hands Ant-Man the scepter and says, Scott, get this back to the compound, that's when Scott left the branch with the stone. So is this the point when he's supposed to return it? I guess you can see the confusion, right? This is really tricky for Cap to go and return all of these. All right, so the ether would not be fun at all to return.
He'd have to
right?
put that shit back in Jade's head, bro, right? He would have to deadass, like, I saw like this how it should have ended shit. It was like this animated shit, right? And so pretty much it's this cartoon, and Steve is like trying to get the he's trying to like stab Jane with the thing to extract the stone to put it back, because you know the reality stone was practically inside her. That's why she was like almost dying.
Get away from me! I'm really sorry. I just need to put this in you.
Arm Jane,
but,
and I'm gonna poke her with this thing.
Yep.
Well, of course, Thor goes off to talk to Frigga, and it's up to Rocket to wait until Jane gets out of bed, and then as she walks away, he sneaks up behind her and jabs her with it. Well, first of all, it's no longer this gaseous form being held inside that little device. It's now a stone.
Mm-hmm.
So does Steve have to jab the stone back in Jane somehow? Or maybe, again, is it just that he needs to return the stone in some
to its
form or
rightful
fashion
place
back to the branch around the time when it was taken? All right, the Power Stone could be really tricky.
I didn't watch
too,
Thor: The
because
Dark
he has to
World, by the way,
return to this
guys.
exact
I did
moment.
not watch that
Remember,
movie.
Nebula burned her
Something
hand
about
off.
Thor and Dark Elves just wasn't really resonating right with me. I tried to give it a watch like a while ago, bro. I just was not able to do that shit. I like, there's certain MCU movies that are too buns for me that I'd preferably would rather watch a recap. Like Quantumania, recap. The Marvels, recap. Eternals, recap. Let's see. That's probably it in terms of like bun movies. At least I could think of off the top of my head.
As she reached in to grab the containment unit, you know, that was holding the stone. And then, of course, we run into the problem that Rhodey is able to return from the time heist, but Nebula,
stuck.
right at the moment when she's ready to leave, the other Nebula, the one from 2014, links up with her brain, basically, her mind, and paralyzes her and connects the two of them together. And now she's left, you know, laying on the ground, realizing Thanos knows. So, okay, is Cap going to run into the Nebula being captured by Thanos? How does he return this stone? Craziness, right? And then what exactly is the protocol on returning the Soul Stone? I mean, you have the Red Skull saying to Clint and Natasha, if only it were that easy. But I wonder if it's almost like he's saying it also to Steve. Like, Steve, good luck, buddy. I mean, does he toss the stone down there with Natasha's body? Or does he have to return it to that weird low and maybe Steve...
But even then, wouldn't that mean her sacrifice was in fucking vain, though, if you think about it? Like, if they're just gonna return that shit back?
But the one that I really want to talk about is the Space Stone. Okay, so obviously we had the weird situation where Loki, you know, bolts off with the Tesseract, a la the Space Stone.
Thumbnail, by the way.
And then the TVA has to come and basically prune him, which means that version of the Space Stone ended up inside Casey's collection there with all of the other Infinity Stones. So Obviously, Cap is not going to get that version of the stone, which is why they have to do a risky Hail Mary and jump to another point in time. And notice Tony's saying that basically we can find more Pym particles and the space stone, but he says I have a vaguely exact idea. Not real precise, right? But ultimately, he says we need to go to 0407 1970, so April 7th of 1970. Now we know from a prop, which isn't always reliable, but still, it gives us a date of birth of 5/29 of 1970 for Tony. So that means he went, about 2 months before he was born in the 70s. Okay, so why is it so difficult to return this? Well, first of all, remember, the Space Stone was inside a vault, and Tony had to use his gauntlet there to basically burn the vault open, and then, finally now, he was able to get to it. Back in the game, he says. But what he got to was the Tesseract, not the Space Stone. So does the Space
It's so
Stone
crazy. This movie came out 6 years ago, bro. Fuck, I feel old.
But either way, Tony reaches
Not even old.
grabs the Tesseract and places it in a briefcase. But then things get even trickier, because look who shows up. It's Howard Stark, and he's calling out for Arnim Zola. That's awesome. But anyway, he says, hey, the door's this way, pal. So, okay, you see why this is so tricky, because if Steve does have to return it to this exact moment, that ain't going to be easy, because Howard Stark's hanging around. But the more I think about it, the more I'm thinking they have to return it to the point when it was removed from the branch. So when they actually left, basically, back through the quantum realm. But anyway, so we get this very interesting conversation.
You're gonna have to be
with
quick.
Howard. He says, my wife is expecting.
He doesn't want
and notice
Howard to
Tony's
see him.
face.
If he
He's
does,
really
if at
confused
least,
by that. In fact, here again,
if he did necessarily return the stone to that exact moment, right? He would have to figure out how to open up that shit, right? Or at least Stark opened it, right? He would have to go to that exact moment and put the shit back inside there, bro. And also, wait a minute. It has to be in the Tesseract form. They can't just because they're obviously gonna know. Okay, yeah, this thing has obviously been fiddled with, right? Because if I'm not mistaken, the Tesseract that's the space zone, right? So, or not the space zone. I think that's the Wait, hold on. Let me fucking see this shit real quick. Let's see. Space Stone. Oh my gosh. MCU. Damn. Yeah, that shit is a space zone. I was fucking right. Okay, so if I'm not mistaken, because think about it, this shit is trapped in the fucking cube, right? So they would have to figure out how to get a makeshift fucking Tesseract thing to put the stone inside the cube.
Looking really confused, trying to do the math in his head, like, what? I'm not born yet? And in fact, he asks Howard, how far along is she? And he's like, oh, I don't know, and kind of does a motion with his hands there. But we know she's about 7 months along, maybe 7.5 months. Well, anyway, I think everything kind of calms down when Tony realizes, okay, that's right, I came back before I was born. So this whole situation where Tony was a little confused when he learned the timing of his mother's pregnancy has led to some people wondering if maybe a storyline in the comics with Arno Stark, his mysterious brother that he didn't know he had, if maybe that's coming into play. I'm not really going that direction with this theory.
Nah, that's too far-fetched, bro.
I was initially surprised that he had actually gone back in time before he was
And
even
I don't
born.
think the Russo brothers
So it was
would
just
do
thrown
something
off
fucking
because,
that complicated.
this whole situation with the
But
time heist
those
was
niggas are
pretty
still
crazy.
unpredictable as
anyway,
fuck.
If
But
you're into this theory with the
I don't think
mysterious
they'd
brother,
go
let me know in the comments. But
that
that's
too
not the direction I'm
complicated.
going. So anyway, back to the story. After Steve returns all the stones, and he believes at least clips all the branches, we're going to get to that in just a second, Steve then goes and creates a new branch and lives with Peggy Carter. Now, I know that the writers and the directors disagree with each other on this, but I think it has to be a branch, right? In fact, I think everything during the time heist is a branch.
Hail, hail, look so divine. Come and get your love.
And of course, you have Loki taking off with the Tesseract. None of these things could have happened in the sacred timeline. So I think all of them are
No,
in a
none of
branch.
this shit happened in the fucking none of it happened. It's
And then finally, after living in that branch with Peggy, old man Steve Rogers
Look,
returns to the sacred
I
temple.
think, bro, personally, Avengers Doomsday will be a pure this probably makes the most sense, bro. Cause I mean, let's be keeping it a buck, bro. it was hinted at the end of fucking Endgame that when Professor Hulk was talking about how it's gonna create a whole bunch of nasty alternate realities. I say Avengers Doomsday will be the consequences of Avengers Endgame. And if they do some other shit, they do some other shit. And if it turns out good, it turns out good. But I think that shit would probably be one of the best stories, bro. Because we could, it'll show how much one fucking other movie could affect the rest of the fucking the sacred timeline.
Timeline with a shield, a very mysterious shield that we still don't know where he got it. But anyway, he gives that then to Sam so he can become
for real.
Captain America. But the key is,
I saw people making up theories saying that was adamantium. I mean,
branches. Okay, so we know that
and it's not too far fetched for that shit to be adamantium, but I feel like maybe he might have, gotten that at another point in time, possibly.
That was supposed to happen, but you escaping was not. Of course, the irony is, actually, it was supposed to happen. She just didn't know that because He Who Remains wanted that Loki to escape, to be pruned, to be brought to the TVA, and then eventually to come before He Who Remains himself so he could offer Loki the chance to take over the TVA. As he said, I paved the road. So, okay, the key is the TVA took care of the Loki branch, right? But my question is, was Steve Rogers actually successful in clipping all those other branches? I bring
Fuck no, I don't think
he was. We were asked about bringing back Robert Downey Jr., and they said, we can't explain that as it's part of the story. But there's nobody else in the world.
Now it's up to it's up to the fucking the B team that have to clean up everything.
That's made people think, oh, there's got to be some tie then with Robert Downey Jr.'s character, with Tony Stark.
Bruh, this hype for this movie is actually finna about to be insane. Like, I don't think you guys understand. Like, when this trailer comes out, bro, I will drop everything, bro, to react to this, to do this fucking trailer reaction, bro. I'm being so dead ass.
If this is what happened, where did it happen? What branch did this happen in? What universe did this happen in? Okay, so now I want to show you the statement that I just ran across recently and that I had totally forgotten about. So I mentioned before that Smart Hulk said you have to return the stones to the exact moment you got them. But then he says, or you're going to open up a bunch of
I just said this shit.
Alternate realities. Whoa. So they're literally calling it out in Endgame that if Steve fails to do this right, he not only won't clip the branches,
so damn, imagine if Avengers Doomsday is just gonna be all of Captain America's fault, bro, because he couldn't do fucking his one job correctly, bro. That shit would actually be crazy, bro. You know how many memes there's gonna be because of that shit?
It's the alternate reality. Well, what if Steve didn't even realize that he was unsuccessful in clipping the 1970 branch and instead turned it into one of those nasty alternate realities? So basically, all those ideas where Tony Stark becomes Dr. Doom instead of becoming Iron Man were created because Steve failed to clip that branch. It's like a branch off of 616 where, we're going to end up with Dr. Doom. That would be crazy, right?
No.
Now consider that He Who Remains kept certain elements out of 616. I mean, there was no Fantastic Four, there was no X-Men.
Mutants.
That seemed to be intentional. And in fact, we saw in What If Season 3 what we might have gotten had He Who Remains not manufactured the sacred timeline. This foosball table had on it everything. I mean, there's a bunch of 616.
I mean, I see Proxima Midnight, Loki, Thanos, Red Skull, Iron Man, Cap, what is that, She-Hulk or Gamora, Scarlet Witch, BP, Luke Cage, Iron Fist, good old Wolvie, Fantastic Four, Rogue, Beta Ray Bill, Galactus, Doctor Doom, Mystique, Magneto, Ultron, King the Conqueror, and Baron Zemo, and I think Magneto back there also, and Ultron right here also.
Characters, sure, but it also had X-Men, heroes and villains, and we even saw in one of the branches
Storm.
In What If Season 3 that suddenly a storm shows up. The mutants are popping up. That probably it was He Who Remains keeping them out of the timeline. Well, additionally on this foosball table, we see Fantastic Four, heroes and villains, in particular Dr. Doom. So originally there was no Dr. Doom, but now because Steve failed to, clip that 1970 branch, we do have a Dr. Doom. Oh my goodness. Now for me, the only bummer with this theory is that means he didn't come from 828.
The Fantastic Four universe?
Universe.
Oh my gosh, I keep fucking up my words, bro! Ah! Okay, he didn't come from the 828 universe.
Richards. But I also think it's pretty wild to think that Steve Rogers accidentally created Doctor Doom in his failure to return that space stone. Okay, so let me know. What do you think about this theory? I mean, wouldn't it be crazy?
Nah, I'm not gonna lie, bro.
Doomsday and Secret
When we
Wars
see Captain
all are
Hydra
gonna
versus
happen simply because
Sam,
Steve
bro,
Rogers
I'm not gonna lie,
failed in
dude.
his final
Like when that fight happens, bro, I'm gonna jizz my pants.
Anyway, let me know your thoughts.
I'm gonna be
You know, I
awesome,
love
like.
October contest.
But W video, I know this video was like a little short today. You know, just because I kind of wanted to get something quick out for you guys. But yeah, how do you guys feel? Do you guys feel like this theory for Avengers Doomsday is correct? Do you guys feel like it could be different? Let me know in the comments. Nothing much more to say, you guys. I will see you guys so soon, bro. More content coming soon. And the date is fucking damn. That means, bro, chat. Or why am I calling you guys chat? We're not even streaming right now, bro. Look, we are dead ass 1 month away from getting this Avengers Doomsday trailer, bro. So listen, we are about to be entering peak cinema right now. If they can fucking do it right, if they can deliver. So they got to figure out a way to get this movie fucking going, bro, for real. Got to figure out how to promote the living shit out of this movie, get these sales going, bro. And yeah, but nothing much more to say, you guys. I will see you guys later, and yeah, peace.
Broke, I understand, but goddamn, why you hating on my man? Got you some racks, got you some brains, spend all this money on these brands, but she's